Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Next up, we have Simple 5 versus the Lucid Lunatics. I am Mr. Blakadder, and joining me once again should be my co-caster, VG Duke.
Hello.
Excellent.
Have you had a chance to actually check out any of these teams?
I've seen Simple 5 play once or twice. Lucid Lunatics are a relatively new team to me. I don't know them. They didn't play as far as my knowledge goes in the BGW.
ESWC.
Yeah, that's the one. ESWC.
Well,
Words.
I've just been having a look around trying to find some information on both of the teams. Couldn't find anything online for Simple 5, but I've managed to get the Dota buff up for Lucid Lunatics, and over 32 games, they have an 85% win rate. Although if it is team matchmaking, they do show solid cohesion between them.
Radiant team ban.
And I'll just run through who plays what roles in them. JB is their mid player, Kangas Khan is their carry, Filish is their offlaner, and Twilis and Hisgard are their supports. Couldn't find anything for Simple 5, however, but that is what Lucid Lunatics will be running with.
Simple 5 I've seen play once or twice, not very much. They play,
10 seconds
or at least
remaining.
the game I saw, they played aggressively. A couple of the names are familiar to
5
me.
seconds remaining.
MTN LOL I have seen play on a different team, although I cannot for the life of me remember what. Could have been during the SWC, I am unsure on that one.
Radiant
But
team
as we
pick.
go into the draft, Mirana will be the first pick for Simple 5. Banouts on the Visage, on the Nyx, on the Invoker, and the Doom. And Dazzle is once again picked up again
Radiant
very
team
early.
pick.
Seems very common
Looking at their match history and what they've liked to play, Dazzle is very
team
common.
pick.
They've also picked Alchemist and Slardar quite a lot, so they do like a minus armor sort of lineup. They also have picked Meepo multiple times. To
That
what
could be
appears
interesting.
to be great effect, based just on the the mock-up of the map. The end
10
game.
seconds remaining.
Like really nice farming, really nice item transitions from what I've been
5
able to
seconds
see.
remaining.
I would absolutely love to see a Meepo, but in their I think their
time.
second game of the league, it's not a likely possibility.
Especially not after seeing the Luna pick up, personally, but we'll see. Amiibo could be interesting. I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys in chat might love it, but we will, in fact, see Simple 5 pick up a Bat Rider,
Team
which is relevant to this game. No Meepos, please. Good God, no.
Come on, Meepo. Also, another thing, they have been playing
Radiant
a lot of
team
Ember
ban.
Spirit, both as carry and in the mid lane.
Dire team ban.
Well, Ember is not banned out so far this game. We do see OD removed from the pool, as well as the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition seen yet on Thursday to great effect, and OD always a common pick, especially in the UK Dota scene where I initially come from. Timbersaw being
Radiant
the
team
X-ban
ban.
out of Simple 5. And with a Bat Rider, could we see this Bat Rider going mid, or is this going to be an offlane Bat or jungle? Because Bat Rider has fallen off in popularity excessively as a Centaur is
Dire
picked
Yes.
up.
team pick.
Have you been? Did you have a chance to check out any of the Cena Cup games?
The Cena Cup?
With-
No, I did not, unfortunately.
Ice has been playing this off-lane Centaur, and it's absolutely amazing to see. You get you get 2 levels in you get a level in Hoof Stomp. You start like getting 10
10
levels in
seconds
return,
remaining.
and they can't harass you as effectively. I think at level
5
6
seconds
with
remaining.
I think a full magic wand, he still had a 1,000 health.
Reserve
The
time.
base HP gain of the hero is immense.
If I
And
recall
that
right,
instant
Centaur
haste.
has the highest strength gain outside of Trient. So you must respect Centaur. I believe when they changed his ultimate, which used to be a passive strength, they increased his base strength gain. So it actually might be higher than Trient Protectors right now. That'll be something for you to look up, Mr. Analytics. On that-
Also, regarding what you were saying about the Bat Rider, I think they're just going to leave it open. If he's put up against a really strong mid laner with high right click, it's going to be really difficult for him. And he'll need to spam out napalm just
Radiant
to get
team
last
pick.
hits, and there will be no chance for him really to get any denies in that situation.
Well, where they
Obviously
put the
off
bat is
lane-
going to be the question, because he is a very flexible hero. We do see the Lich pick up the simple 5. So, Lich potentially could be in the safe lane, although more common than not of late I've seen Lich put in the solo off-lane role, which means this would be a mid or a farming Mirana.
10 seconds remaining.
Now, what I question with this Lich is where we're going to
5
see him go
seconds
item-wise. Veil of Discord is very potent on a Lich. You mix that in with a Mirana and Starfall, that can work out
Reserve
quite well.
time.
Or we could see the route of a mechanism, should we not see a natural mech carrier. Very effective with boot. Well into the reserve time now, and starting to get into the reserve time of Lunatics to boot.
It's really simple 5. They have the opportunity to mix up their lanes. They've got 3 solid heroes that can go in multiple positions. They're really gonna leave it to Lucid Lunatics to really decide where they're gonna place those heroes. I would like to see an Ember Spirit right here. The Mirana's quite squishy. You can use a Sleight of Fist to disable like the Batrider Blink, because of the range of that is incredible. And you're able to poke down. And then if you do get into a bit of trouble, you've got the Centaur ultimate, and then you've also got the Luna to fall back on for the later portion of the game. So I think that possibility is quite there. But no, I'm going to go with the Storm Spirit.
I do like the pickup of Storm Spirit against, say, the Bat and the Lich. Storm can get into the mix from a good distance, stop the lasso initiation from the Bat, or can mess around with the lower HP squishier heroes like that Lich and the Mirana, especially if Storm gets off to a good start. Lucid Lunatics, their lineup so far, it's a good mix of magical and physical damage, plus the negative armor from Dazzle. I'm seeing so much of Dazzle of late, it is starting to get a little repetitive, which I never thought I would say. Lone Druid the pickup for simple 5, however.
That is a nice pickup, especially against the Centaur, because so far what you've got, like what you had on that safe lane, was a Lich for the slow, a potential for a long stun on Mirana, but if you don't land that stun quickly, the Centaur would just ultimate and run away. But now you've got the possibility of the entangling roots.
Reserve time.
Well, Lone Druid, if we see the offlane Lone Druid, which we'll most likely see, could potentially be a safe lane Lone Druid and an aggressive try with a Mirana and a Lich.
There is no chance of it being an offlane Lone Druid. No chance. It will achieve nothing.
Against Luna and Dazzle?
Yes. It will not achieve anything. You've got the Poison Touch to slow up the bear and then attack it.
So you think it'll be a safe lane Lone Druid and a potential tri lane out of simple 5?
I think they're either going to run a dual lane with the Mirana Lich and put another safe support up for the Lone Druid and send Batrider into the mid, or they're going to do an aggressive tri lane with Mirana Lich +1, and then leave Lone Druid on the safe lane. No matter what, this Lone Druid needs to be on the safe lane. As they've banned out the Life Sealer, they are really looking for this Lone Druid he is their main carry.
Fair enough. And we do see the Life Sealer ban out to disable the opportunity for Nyx bombs, and the Clinks ban out to stop the roaming potential Orchid threat. And Wraith King for the final pickup.
It's actually something they've been running in a few games. There's the Centaur and the Wraith King combined.
You've got their Dota buff up on the other screen, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's quite useful. However, think about how this can be worked in. You use a Centaur ultimate, run the Wraith King in there, slows everyone down, takes a bunch of damage, then he dies, reincarnates, and then that massive slow, which can get the Dazzle Weave. You can get the Luna with the Eclipse and Storm Spirit to create havoc on these squishies.
Reserve time.
It is a really well thought out draft.
Fair enough. On that note, I will have to hit myself a little bit, because I did call him Wraith King. If Pyrian heard me say that, I would end up without a head. It's Skeleton King. Anyone that disagrees...
10 seconds remaining.
Well... Weaver will be the final pickup for simple 5.
Yep. So for these lanes, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Weaver Lich off lane support Mirana, or Mirana into the mid with Batrider into the jungle and Lone Druid safe lane farm up against the Centaur, because that's a fairly safe lane for him to work there.
Fair enough. As we go into this game, wait for the load, so it's taking a little bit longer. Hope. I'll just remind you of this. You owe me a rare, sir, for the last game.
I would like to point out that I could give you a mythical.
Not complaining.
Actually, let's double or nothing. Let's put a mythical on the outcome of this game.
Do I have a spare mythical? That's the question. I'd have to
10
check. I'm
seconds
not
remaining.
actually sure right now, and I'm not going to do that during the draft. I'll definitely say double or nothing on a rare. Either way, going into this game, we have the Lucid Lunatics versus, as my mouse goes a little haywire, we have the Lucid
Prepare
Lunatics
for
versus
battle.
Simple 5. There's my mouse back. And for Simple 5, we're seeing immediate rotation. This could potentially cause some problems should Lucid Lunatics go for that early Roshan, and with the Wraith King,
They need a
is
Bassi.
potential.
No, they have no Bassi. And no, they can't do it.
Either way, we have S5, we have MTN LOL on the Batrider, Jonil on that Mirana, Stib3 or Stibby on the Lone Druid. We have Daggers on the Weaver, and finally Teacup.
It will be scouted out by the Luna.
Aye, scout by the Luna. In comes the long range arrow, gonna miss. Finally, we have Teacup on that Lich. Flip side of this coin, however, we have Kangish Khan on the Luna. We have Twilis on the Skeleton King.
30 seconds.
We have
to battle.
Pistak on the Dazzle. We have JB on the Storm Spirit. And finally, up on this top lane, we have Filish on the Centaur Warrunner. And they're not making it easy for me with names like that. Good God Almighty.
Look at the hate of all of these camps. Blocked. Blocked. Blocked.
Threat of the Centaur in the jungle.
The battle begins for good and all.
I think they're worrying about what the Centaur could do if they can't, if they harass him out of the lane, he could rotate into the jungle and try and get some farm there.
Indeed.
But it really does have the potential to stay up on this lane. And they are actually just going to put it's going to be the Mirana support. They're not going to put that into the core. So there's this aggressive tri-lane with the Lone Druid onto the safe lane with the Batrider into the mid.
Now, in a Tri-v-Tri scenario, Weaver, Mirana, and Lich up against Wraith King, Skeleton King. No, I'm dead. I'm sorry, I'm going to be killed after this game. Skeleton King, Luna, and Dazzle.
No right.
On this tri-lane, which team do you think will come out with the bigger advantage?
They've got sentries. I put it all onto Lucid Lunatics.
Fair enough.
With the stun is really the Wraith Fire Blast is absolutely devastating, and then the slow afterwards, and then you can bind that with Poison Touch. Luna has the highest base movement speed on this lane. 330 is absolutely massive for these early sort of engagements, and they will just be able to chase it down.
Well,
One of the lanes that I really want to look at is this mid lane, and I am surprised that JB is having real issues up against this Batrider. Batrider really should be dominated by a Storm Spirit.
Well, with
Really
the Storm
nice
Spirit
play coming out
Batrider
of
matchup,
MTN.
yeah, MTN should be able to keep control of this as long as he can keep that sticky napalm stacked up. And I'm trying to keep my eye on the bottom lane at the same point, because in a Tri-v-Tri scenario, there is going to be hell. Speaking of, oh god, they are so close to each other. This is tenuous at best. Now, we'll keep an eye on the bottom lane quickly while we discuss the next point. Who's your rare on, sir?
I want to give it to whatever team actually has the balls to pick up a Skeleton King and a Centaur. So that's what I will choose.
You've got your money on Lucid Lunatics. I'm inclined to agree with you. That's the thing right now. At this point, I would say I am in agreement. So there is no rare on the line for this game so far.
Yeah. One of the things to really think about, yeah, this a defensive tri lane, the harassment coming out of Teacup will be really strong. But then you've got the lifesteal that's given by the Wraith King.
And this is a
Or the
support
Luna.
Skeleton
That's
King, for the
not
record.
right.
And Luna has now even stayed even more stability than a Dazzle with Shadow Wave. The stability of this lane is incredible.
Well, on that note, we'll keep an eye on the CS at the same point. We have for the top lane, Stibby versus Felich. The Centaur currently at 9 for 1 versus the Lone Druids 7 for 3. So they're very even in this lane. A lot of CS has potentially been missed, however, even at the 3-minute mark. In the mid lane, JB is taking a lot of fire. 7 stacks up on that napalm. That is
no mana
potentially
for the
devastating.
there.
If he had the Firefly, that could have been a potential kill. But MTML did take a lot of damage himself from that engagement. CS is quite even for these two as well.
Yeah, Felicia is actually playing amazingly at this top lane. Is still ahead of the Lone Druid with still this massive wave coming in. And massive damage being taken by the Lone Druid just from return. It is absolutely incredible how much damage that does deal. And he is choosing to level up the Hoof Stomp over the Double Edge. Doesn't want to Double Edge and then get caught out by a root.
Completely understandable on that. On that note, we do have an invisibility rune popped for MTN. And he's got his boots delivered, so he's going to be quicker than JB at this point in time.
Yeah, it doesn't have any lasso though, so that won't really be able to make anything out of that invis rune. We'll just use it just to get his bottle up. So no explosion yet at this bottom lane, but once it comes, also you can see that Lucid Lunatics are going for an extended trade if they do fight, with the second level in the Luna's Aura rather than the 2 levels in Lucent Beam. They're going for extended fight rather than a nuke. They're trying to outlast Simple 5.
Well, with Simple 5, I will note they do have that smoke present on Lich, so if at any point they wanted, they could rotate onto the Storm Spirit in the mid. At least, ideally now before he gets Ball Lightning, then again, only 2 more CS, 3 more CS, and he'll have that.
There really isn't any way that it wouldn't be scouted out. For the simple reason, if they leave this lane, they know. And there's only one place they really can go, it would be towards the Storm Spirit. But he's already 6, so that wouldn't make much of a difference now anyway. One thing to note, the Mirana actually maxing out the Sacred Arrow in this aggressive tri-lane, not something you often see, for the simple reason the arrow is hard to land with that setup, and it would be more efficient to get that Starstorm as it would hit multiple things. The stun doesn't increase with level, only the damage.
In the meantime, Centaur on the top lane is popped. That's going to be the end of Stibby. First blood going the way of JB on that Storm Spirit, which is perfect for the Storm. He loves that. That's 1,000 gold their way. First blood not happening on the Tri-v-Tri. Very defensive play from both teams down there.
Yeah, Luna is really suffering because of this though. Farm really not up to the sort of standard you really want when you play up to the Luna. We are going to see a haste rune come on to the Skeleton King, and we'll see if he wants to make a play with this.
Well, a hasted Skeleton King is going to be a very scary feat, and one Wraithfire Blast can turn the fight. Hell, but take a look at this. Full vision. Hell, there is no vision from the Dire for that rune. They're just backing off because they don't know where the Skelly is.
Yeah, they saw the Skeleton King up through here for that really nicely placed forward. The imagination that comes into like warding in nowadays due to people using sentries in the most common places, it's really refreshing to see where they use this imaginative spots to place down their observers.
At this point in, though, I will point out on this top lane, Stibby does not have his bear.
Yeah.
It's a very big thing to be missing this early in the game.
Real thing is it actually doesn't make much of a difference anyway for the Centaur. But look at the Centaur's money. This is Blink first. And that's why he's maxing the Hoof Stomp. He wants that high stun duration with that early Blink.
Completely understandable. And with now the Blink costing no mana, Centaur doesn't even need to worry about his mana.
Also, you can see the Storm Spirit going for that max overload before even putting points into the Static Remnant, like what we saw on Thursday. It's just more efficient for the damage.
Indeed, as we see Power Dread's complete for the Weaver from that side shop. Still no real kills down here. This is a very more stepped down, toned down, less aggressive game than I was personally expecting. Then again, this is bat before he has blink.
Yeah.
Now, when a bat has blink, that's when the chaos will start.
Centaur's going to get his blink before the bat. And then Centaur also not only has blink, will have blink, he has Stampede. And the Centaur with blink, at the moment, I fear so much more than this bat with the blink.
I'm inclined to agree. And the fact that he has got so much farm up against that lone druid is quite astounding. I actually very much like this playstyle. And it's not a hero I would generally consider for the offlane. But equally, let's take a look around the map in terms of level advantage. We've got levels 8 on both Storm and Centaur for the Radiant, and 8 on the Bat.
He needs to go base now, get some mana, and rotate.
Indeed. And we've got 4 across the board for everything else. So it's a very farm-centric game for those two solo lanes. The tries are not having any advantage whatsoever, as long-range arrow, going to completely airball. Not a chance that that was going to hit.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying about this lane. They really can't make a massive play with this Mirana. Maxing out Sacred Arrow. It would actually have been more efficient to get the extra level in the Starstorm and then blink forward stupidly aggressively and land that Sacred Arrow at point blank.
JB in the mid lane taking some damage to that tower. Got to be very careful about that. One misstep with a Batrider can cause you all manner of problems. You have full tranquils now complete for the center as well.
This wave at mid will give Bat the blink. Going to secure that last creep, and that will be a blink dagger for the Batrider now. Storm Spirit moving up to the top lane does have that regen rune.
And he's just waiting for that opportunity, but the bear scouted him out, so missed call there on his regeneration.
Here I am.
The regen rune is still popping off, that's why he's still running around. But the Batrider did use a TP to go up top, but just disabled it immediately.
Over here now.
And now a haste rune onto the Storm Spirit.
Well, 2 blink daggers up at the 10-minute mark. This hopefully will entail a very aggressive mid-game. Something I think we would all love to see. We're just waiting for Jonel to really throw the next arrow. Dagger's going to take a good chunk of damage, though, from that Lucian Beam / Poison Touch combination. But we've got TPs coming down. We've got a Centaur here with that blink. There is no Dire Ward vision up in this side area here, so they do not know this is coming.
He hasn't been scouted, but they are
game sense. There's game sense in effect right there.
And this is why this is the same reason the Lich Mirana moving into the Storm Spirit in the mid wouldn't have worked, because they were always present on the lane. As soon as they disappear, it's going to be noted. But you've got to look in the mid lane. You can jump in on that Storm, get the Vortex, and then straight into the Blink with the Stampede.
But we're going to see
go for their
fallback. They're not actually going to take the chance, even though I feel like they could kill MTN quite quickly. Not only quite quickly,
easily.
He wouldn't have no chance of escape.
Not only does he would have very little chance of escape, he would get slowed from the Overload and also just slowed from Stampede. And to boot, he has very, very little to no mana.
But on that note, we're going to see continual farm coming up from Luna. Luna has 33 for 10, last hits denies. Not exactly what you would want to see on a Luna, but in this case, this has been an incredibly defensive tri-lane for both sides. Weaver is trailing as well. No side has a massive advantage, and you can equally see, in terms of hero level, the tri-lane scenario is pretty much the same in terms of that. Experience and gold, there is no real advantage.
I have to give my props to Lucid Lunatics with how they played this defensive tri-lane. The Luna was really trailing earlier. I think it was minus 10 last hits against the Weaver. But with the sort of aggression from the Centaur, was able to try and offset that, and they had to play a bit more defensive.
Middle tower is under attack. It has no arms to defend itself.
But we still haven't seen these Blink Daggers come into play. And it's going to be either, I think, Lincoln's first for the Storm Spirit.
A Lincoln's first? Quite possible. I mean, that would work so well against the Lasso, and the potential of it working against Chain Frost, but I raise the question, would an Orchid not be a very wise choice as well? Sure, the Lincolns will get you out of parts where you're initiated on, but you're a Storm Spirit. You want to be the initiator, not the initiated.
The thing is, that could also be a very, very early sheep.
That would certainly be a greedy play in my mind compared to, say, an Orc.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with him building a Lincolns in this situation to protect himself up against that Batrider.
Jump in, however, on said Batrider with the Centaur there. Stomp goes down, and there's the double edge. That's the end of that. However, counter arrow coming in, catches JB straight in the back. No follow-up for this, though.
Meanwhile, they do try and put some aggression onto the Lich and the Weaver at the bottom. This Wraithing is getting brilliant pulls off this bottom lane. He's up to level 5 now on this lane.
Have you taken a look at his skill build, by the way? I think he's got a point in stats.
Yeah, he does. He didn't need the extra levels in the aura. Wasn't any point in taking stats in points into the crit. Was the most beneficial for him to get that extra point in the stats, get that bit bigger mana pool, and work around with that. A smoke, all 5 are here. Actually, no, the Mirana is missing, but the bat is Firefly. Does have his blink.
They're just looking for the opportunity and catches Luna, dragging him back. There's the slow coming from Lich, and the damage should be there, but there's the shallow grave, keeping him alive for a few seconds longer. Big weave, Eclipse is there, but there's not enough damage coming out of that Luna to be able to stand up against that many people, especially when the creep wave is there to absorb a few hits.
Yeah, there's too many heroes actually. You've got the bear, you've got the not only have you got the spirit bear, you've got the bear in ultimate form. So too much health there to try and deal. Too much health there to try and kill anyone.
Well, you throw onto that the fact that this tower should now go down to the full 5-man push. Going to be an advantage slowly building for Simple 5 if they keep this up.
Also, not moving in towards its bottom lane. The arrow flying hits on the Skeleton King.
Well, he should technically go down here. However, he is level 6. Reincarnation will pop. The slow is there. Now comes in the dazzle. Where's the rest of the team, though? We need more TPs than this. One Wraith Fire Blast could technically kill John Hill, but now he's being forced back by the Weaver. Everyone is here. Luna's finally back in the fight. And here comes the Centaur's ult. There's the speed. The stun, however, will miss from Village. He needs to get some damage off, but in comes Chain Frost. That is a colossal Chain Frost. That's going to bring down everyone to low HP. Wraith King goes down. Dazzle goes down. Where's the rest of the damage, though? Centaur needs to go down. He gets hit with the ensnare. Can he get out of this one? I don't think he can, but in comes Storm. Double-edge kill. Double kill for Village. In comes Storm, though. That's 1 kill. Can they find Stibby? It seems they can. One more right click from Storm does clean that up. Not going to get hit by the Mirana arrow. Mirana, the sole survivor. That's a 4-for-3 trade in favour of LL. Lucid Lunatics pulling that one out, though. They certainly came back into it, even though the start of that fight was rough and, well, not just rough. It was downright shady to start a fight like that.
There was no respect there for the Centaur. 3 heroes and the bear were grouped around him. He got the hoof stomp, and then the immediate double edge, and then an instant double kill up for him. And they are not going to stack up around a Centaur again. I can tell you that.
No, especially when double edge with its small AOE. Really don't want to get hit by that. And double edge, correct me if I'm wrong, is pure damage.
No.
No, it's magical.
I think it used to be.
It used to be pure.
Yeah.
And now, well, Batrider just looking around for those runes. He does have that Firefly popped. Not going to find anyone, though, to lasso, which is what he was really hoping for.
We are going to have the mechanism coming up for the Centaur in about 600 gold. And yeah, it is going to be the Lincoln's out for the Storm Spirit. It has up his Perseverance now.
Well, that's going to help him against that Batrider, but I still feel like he should really be initiating onto the Bat, not the other way around. Going to look to try to bring down the Bear, but there's nowhere near enough damage so far. They need a lot more to bring down a level 4 Spirit Bear. Not only a level 4 Spirit Bear, that's a level 4 Synergy as well.
One thing to point out about this combination with the Dazzle and the Centaur, return is physical damage. It's going to hit hard on anyone who has Weave placed on them.
Does that not also, it being physical, help with Vampiric Aura? Or is that only when... No, that's only when right-clicking, as we have Centaur ult pop to run away. Long-range arrow not going to hit this time.
It's not technically a right-click.
No, there are some forms of lifesteal that do heal that.
The only way to heal spells are obviously the open wounds.
Yeah.
When obviously from the Life Sealer, and if you recall from Wraith Knight, the change to the axes Berserker's Call. Not Berserker's Call.
The dot,
His-
yeah,
yeah,
but
his
Wraith
W.
Knight doesn't really matter. The only way
Yeah.
to do it is open wound.
Yeah. Little bit of fun trivia there. The only other 2 spells in the existence of Dota 2 to ever provide healing on a spell. We are going to have this Force Staff coming up for the Batrider fairly shortly, sitting only 600 gold away from that. And the mechanism is only 100 gold away for the Centaur.
And then comes the TP from the Batrider. They want to try to find an engagement with that lasso, but this is effectively a 5v4 fight at this point. We do have Luna continuing to farm in the mid lane, does have that TP on her, so she can get into the fight. However, getting into the fight at that far up the lane from the tier 1, bit of a tall order to ask for.
Yeah. But I actually think it'd be more beneficial if they did take this fight where they were, because then
Dire's middle
they'd be
tower
able
is
to
under
outlast
attack.
it. Though I do think they really want to wait until they do get the reincarnation back up before they try and make another play. And,
I would be inclined to agree.
and with 30 gold away from getting up this mechanism.
Dire's middle tower is all alone in the
Well,
world.
Centaur is
being
certainly
attacked.
getting his farm. What else do we see Centaur most likely buying after this mech? You think a Blade Mail? So we can
Dire's
get into
middle
the middle of the
tower is
mix?
under attack.
Shiva's Guard
There's
as
no
well, very
arms to
good
defend
choice.
itself.
Anything that gives high armor, in my mind, would be a good choice up
That's
against
the
this Weaver.
mechanism. Flying out, and we're going to see an engagement very, very shortly.
Especially now that they have reincarnation back and ready.
Yeah, the Lincoln's also up for the Storm Spirit. Another transition that... Oh, he does get jump straight in. We'll be able to pick up that Lich.
Yeah, and there, with the hoof stomp as well, maybe a slight overkill. JB gets stunned up by a long range arrow, but there's going to be no follow-up on this. Centaur already paying off in this game, and we're only 20 minutes in. Lucid Lunatics certainly having a frightful show of force this early into their game.
The Dire's top tower is doing its best, but it doesn't look good.
Now with
Yep.
this tower going down, Lucid Lunatics secure the first tower of the game.
The Radiant's
Where do we
bottom
go from
tower
here? We
has
actually
seen
see
better
TPs to
days.
defend the mid lane. Batrider wants this, but Twilight is here. Can he get the long range Wraithfire Blast? No, he's going to hold off on this, waiting for his friends to come in. As Piscad is here, so is Kangaskhan. Khan.
The Blink Dagger was up for the Batrider, and the last time the Skeleton King did throw out that Wraithfire Blast, it was just Blink disjointed, and isn't going to waste that on the Batrider.
Long
Not
range
worth
arrow
his
coming
mana.
in though, not going to
Dire's
catch this
bottom
time.
tower is under attack.
She is persistent with trying to hit those long range arrows, and there comes the weave. This is going to be very hard to stop now. The armor,
Fortified. Booyah.
I expect the counter initiation to come through.
By the gods, the Dire's
Who's
bottom
missing
tower
here?
doesn't
Storm
even
isn't
have
here,
arms
nor
to
is the
defend itself.
Centaur.
What a brave tower.
But they do get that top that
It
bottom
was a
tier
valiant
1.
effort.
Do we see TPs to defend this? Wraithfire Blast is on that bear. That bear can get killed. They will
Radiant's
actually
middle
manage to get it, so
tower
that's
has
300
300
gold.
gold for the Skeleton King. That's going to be a Blink Dagger for him.
The bear is worth more gold than the hero if there is no spree in effect. It's always one
Yeah.
thing to keep in mind.
Actually, no, it's going to... Does pick up the Oak Club, so not going for that BKB or even a Force Staff like I imagined. I really do want to see some Force Staffs coming out of Lucid Lunatics. You want to be able to force someone who is like entangled,
Dire's
and then
middle
there's the
tower
third
has fallen.
tower.
2-tower advantage now in favour of Lucid Lunatics, and they just want more towers. There you go, looking for the tier 2. Got to be careful of the bat here, but it does not matter. In comes the Storm. Stun is there as well, but there's not a chance for the bat to do anything. The Chain Frost is thrown, but it's just bouncing around the creeps right now. JB doesn't really care about one bounce, and at this point in, Lucid Lunatics seem to have complete control. And we can look at the graphs just to reinforce this point. That's coming up to a 7.5k gold lead for the Lucid Lunatics. And experience-wise, let's take a quick look, shall we? 7.5k there as well. But we have seen comeback after comeback as Kangaskhan gets a long-range stun on him. Are we going to see a follow-up of this? Nope. Nice jump away there by John. It doesn't really get caught by Filich.
Being attacked.
And this tier 2 seems like it's going to go down. The glyph is popped, but
around the tower means.
I'm wondering if that was a little bit of a waste of a glyph, since the Lucid Lunatics already seemed to be backing up at that point in time.
I think at this point in the game, you want to see where the items are for these heroes. You've got Morana with arcane boots and no extra form of damage, not even having the 4 in Starstorm and Arrow. The Lich doesn't have any points in Ice Armor. The Weaver still not finished his Lincolns. the Lone Druid actually now has his relic, so it's going to start moving towards getting that Radiance, and that will really help once they're able to pick that up. The Bat Rider, really, in my opinion, is the only one that's really got the position to change fight.
Long range
what
stun, however,
beautiful
does
arrow.
catch Kangaskhan. He's going to be lassoed back, and that's going to be the end of the Luna.
Oh, the neutral!
Wow, denied by a neutral. Very nice play there by Luna.
Nice played.
I'm willing to bet MTN feels a little bit cheated here. Gotta admit, that plays like that is what makes me enjoy Dota the most.
And it is a Sanj coming up for the Wraith King. Also up onto
Radiant's
the
bottom tower
Centaur.
is under attack.
Oh,
Heaven's
well,
Halberd?
I think it's
Radiant's
slated
bottom
to
tower
Heaven's
has fallen,
Halberd for the
and I
both.
don't mean in
Actually,
love.
there is the potential for a Sanjanyasha up for the Wraith King.
For the Red
That's
King,
almost-
sure, it could let him transition into a little bit of a more damage-centric mid-game.
It definitely will be a Heaven's Halberd for the Centaur, but getting that Sanjanyasha would be useful for the Wraith King, Skeleton King. I will differentiate it between them through the entire period of the game. You know, things are getting tricky when I start calling him Leoric.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the Sanjanyasha would be really useful on him, as he would be able to keep up with the opponent. Having those phase boots and then having Sanjanyasha, he'd be looking at about 450 movement speed, which would be really, really nice for him.
Now, part of me wonders, how long is it going to be until we see Roshan
Radiant's
picked up in
bottom
this game?
tower is under
In my
attack.
mind, Roshan should
I
be
feel
the
sad
next
for them.
logical step for
Double
Lucid
damage.
Lunatics. Maybe take the mid tier 2 or the bot tier 2 first, or get a pick off or two.
Radiant's
Then look for
bottom tower
Roshan.
is
It will
under
be
attack.
after the BKB from Luna. That's when they'll start looking at it, and they've put more heroes around those ancients to give the Luna more protection.
Indeed, and these ancients alone should be enough gold in my mind to get that BKB finished. I believe there is enough just.
Yeah, no, more than enough. He will sit about 300, 400 gold above that BKB. Because if you look, he's got the BKB now and two of the larger black dragons to kill.
Oh, he's not. He's missing the Mithril Hammer. He's missing another
Oh,
200
Mithril
gold.
Hammer, it's not the recipe.
Yeah,
Right,
I was thinking,
okay.
what the hell are you on, Duke?
Yeah, he'll have 200 extra. Close enough. I knew he'd have extra.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
But so that is the big key item that they are having now, and there will be a sheep stick coming up for the Storm Spirit next. Has that second ultimate orb and instant smoke after that BKB. The radiance is up for the bear, and we'll see if it is enough to be able to hold off this big fight that is coming out of Lucid Lunatics.
I don't think it is. Felich is looking to get behind enemy lines, but he got shown. If he got that jump in, that would have been a completely different fight.
They
But
need
now
this
here comes
DD.
the bear.
They need a DD.
Well, Wraithfire Blast, they want to bring down the bear. Kill the bear quickly. That's a good call. Especially considering it's got Radiance now. The arrow will hit Kangaskhan. He needs to get that BKB up now, and he needs to turn around with the Eclipse. Do we see the turnaround? No, it doesn't seem we will. There it is. There's the BKB. Where's the Eclipse? Damage coming through. Weaver will melt. JB on a dominating spree, and now should come the shredding. It's all over but for the crying. Sib will manage to get away due to the Mirana ultimate. And in the meantime, we have Batrider getting caught by JB, but JB, he should be safe. Batrider comes back in only to his death. MTN, not the wisest idea going uphill there. And now, just look at the HP of this entire team, but Twilight's vampiric aura is more than enough as, once again, the arrow threads the needle between the entire team of LL.
I'll be honest, that was the best opportunity for Simplify to try and take a fight. They
Radiant's
landed
top
the
tower
arrow
is under
onto
attack.
Luna, and the Vortex was down, the Wraithfire Blast was down. A lot of their spells were on cooldown from trying to kill
Dire's
that
bottom
bear.
tower is under
It was
attack.
the
Run,
perfect
little bottom tower.
initiation.
Run.
But you saw how useful the Stampede is, and the Luna was able to pop the BKB, force the
Dire's middle tower
Weaver
has
to
fallen.
time lapse away
Timber.
from him, and that just freed up the Luna to be able to move forward and start dishing out some damage.
Well, right now we have 2,800 gold plus an ultimate orb onto JB. This is Scythe of Ice territory right here.
Yeah, only sitting about 600 gold away, 600 700 gold away from that, and that will just be brutal. But
Once we have the Sight of Ice, it's just a case of, okay, where's the Lone Druid or where's the Marana? Sheep.
It has, in my opinion, it would be more effective to kill the Marana or the Lich. Screw the Lone Druid, screw the Weaver, screw the Bat Rider. They need to kill those two. Chain Frost and Moonlight Shadow are probably more effective than any other spell that Simple 5 have right now.
Well, part of me wonders who's going to pick up as we get another long-range arrow coming down. Not going to catch anyone this time.
The gem?
The gem is up for the Centaur, yeah, but part of me is wondering when they're going to pick up a Pipe of Insight, because Pipe of Insight against Lich is a very wise purchase a lot of the time. And I would honestly have expected it on the Centaur, but we're seeing a more damage-oriented Centaur with that Sange pickup.
I don't think they're actually going to pick one up.
And why do you think they're going to forsake the Pipe, which is potentially 400 more HP for the entire team?
I think they will try and move for it in the late game, but they're trying to end it sooner. They're not trying to, like, a Pipe, yeah, it provides you some more survivability. But you saw what it did to them in that fight. They still won, even with Chain Frost. And then they got more items out of that. Moonlight Shadow does come out.
But there is a gem present for the Centaur. This could be a very big fight coming out for Lucid Lunatics if they can see what's going on. They just need the vision. MTN dropping all that Firefly, looking to try to deter this, but Roshan is going to be a very big talking point of this game as we get Arrow coming in long range. Does manage to stun out Twilight, but you stun the guy who can come back to life.
Yeah. And if you look in the Blade of Alacrity up onto the Skeleton King, that is going to be the Sanjin Yasha for him. And there's the Sheepstick.
This is, in my mind, the timing Lucid Lunatics need. If they get the right kill now, that's it. And JB just going to jump up to the high ground, just throw down attack after attack. The bear is going to go down, but JB is dragged back. The Shallow Grave is thrown at him, though. Good Shallow. He's just going to zap out, though. Not a chance. Teacup does get obliterated, and now in comes the Eclipse. Huge damage onto Snip. Now they're looking for Daggaz. Can they get him? One right click. Yes, they can. Mega kill spree up for JB. They want the bat. Can they get the bat? One more jump would be enough. There it is. But there's the long-range Blink Dagger. Going to get him out. In comes the arrow. Not going to hit. And now Tier 2 on the menu for Lucid Lunatics.
No, it will be the Roshan. With the Luna could tank here quite easily. And so I think we failed to mention, Luna did pick up the Helena Dominator. So the amount of healing that comes out of the Luna in these fights is incredible.
Long-range arrow will catch on JB this time. Are we looking for a steal? Could be a potential. But with these long-range spells just being hurled in from the sidelines, are they going to try to steal? Are they going to be that ballsy? It would be a big play if they could manage it. And Storm Spirit got it. Batrider tried his best. Give him credit where credit is due, but now he might pay for this with his life.
Play it safe and walk out. And what I mentioned earlier happened directly in there. They killed the bear, and the first person they killed in that fight was the Lich. And they were able to walk out of the fight with full health.
We do have a Heaven's Halberd up for Filich, and the Sanjin Yasha for the Wraith King. Skeleton King. God damn it. I am so dead after this game. It's not Leoric, it's Austerion in Dota 2. Get it right.
It was Leoric.
Nope.
Dota 1.
Dota 1, maybe, not Dota 2, lad. Either way. With the Heaven's Halberd up, yeah, we are. With the Heaven's Halberd up, where is Filich going to go next, you reckon, item-wise? Could we potentially see the heart for the Centaur?
I would prefer... I don't really think he needs much more health right now. I think that's why he went for the Heaven's Halberd. It's a defensive health item. I think he's going to go a more aggressive AoE item right now. Looking at the Shivas, the potential for the Blade Mail is there. But he could also go for that pipe if they just want to completely cement their advantage. But I don't think it's a necessity.
Well, we do have a smoke popped out of the Lucid Lunatics now. They want to continue to exert their force on this game. There's the line. You can see it going straight up behind that T2. Long range jump in from JB. Finds MTN. Bring down that bat, but he gets stunned out. This could be the counter they need, but no. Big crit coming through from that Skeleton King. In comes the Big chain frost, but it's not going to be that big.
Yeah, the potential for high ground is here now. There's now still the Aegis onto the Storm Spirit. Wraith King does eat that arrow.
Structures are fortified, just like me.
Indeed, and it's time for the tier 3s again.
Also, you're seeing where the Dazzle is standing. When they're all around here, Dazzle stands here.
Aye. And once again, just the micro on the Centaur, using it to absorb the arrows. And half HP now on this middle tier 3. Gotta be careful. Where's the counter initiation? MTN wants to get the blink in, but he can't go on JB because of that. He can't go on JB because of that Lincoln Sphere. If he goes on Kangaskhan, Khan, doesn't really matter. Wraith King will survive, and going on Centaur is probably the most unwise decision. They need to find Piscad, but that's just going to invite the stun from Twilight.
I honestly think that...
In comes the jump. That's going to get stunned out, though. Big double hoof stomp. Triple hoof stomp. That's going to melt Dagaz. Manages to time lapse, but that's not enough. In comes the re-engage from MTN. Going to put a lasso into Village, but it does not matter. JB, double kill. Can he find more? Looking for more. On a triple kill. Godlike. Can they find another? There's another jump. Stib, going to go down. Ultra kill. And the Rampage is stolen away from him by Kangaskhan.
And
Respect the
Dire's
storm.
middle barracks are under attack.
And he starts an Aegis, as you say.
Dire's middle barracks shall be remembered. The Radiant's
Gotta
bottom
admit,
tower
JB has
seen
played
better
one
days.
hell of a storm. And there's the GG call.
Dire's middle tower now belongs to the Aegis.
I have to admit, I thoroughly look forward to seeing Lucid Lunatics play more.
Yeah, they showed a really solid game and really nice innovation with their picks.
So many good up-and-coming teams that we've seen, and we've only seen 3 games so far in this league. Lucid Lunatics are strong. We had on the Tuesday... Who did we have on the Tuesday? We had... House of Gamers.
House of Gamers versus Boarding Complete.
House of Gamers equally played a phenomenal game. They came back from a big disadvantage, and I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what else this league has to offer. I mean, we haven't seen Drapana play, or Four Friends from Carillion. Four Friends from Carillion are one hell of a team.
Yeah, I really hope we get to see the 4FC versus Turtle Masters game.
I believe we're casting that one.
Yeah, we were supposed to cast that last week, but obviously we had the problems with Steam going down.
Aye, and next time we cast, I believe we have House of Gamers versus Turtle Masters.
Yep.
That's probably going to be a game.
And then Artificial Intelligence versus Simple 5. So another 2 of the teams that we haven't had the chance to cast yet. So we're still actually missing, after the next week, we will be missing only 4FC and Drapana.